Hi everyone, Ohayo gozaimasu. Welcome! This channel is for Japanese learners of English. Kiyomo shadowing no lesson wo yarakimashou. Listen to today's real native conversation. Focus on the rhythm and shadow along. Practice daily to master tango, bunpao, hatsuan, and rhythm. Repeat and try again tomorrow if needed. Zehi. Channel no toroku wo onegai shimasu. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
So you need to tell someone their colleague is away from their desk. It's a common situation, right? There's actually quite a few ways you can say it in English, and it really depends on the context.
Right. It's not just one single phrase. It's more about choosing what fits the situation. Like, are they just out for a minute, or have they left the office for the day?
Exactly. So let's start with the basics. What are the most common phrases to use when someone is just not at their desk?
Well, you'd often hear, he's not at his desk right now, or she's not at her desk at the moment. These are pretty standard, and they work in most situations.
Okay, those are straightforward. What if you wanted to be a little more professional or polite, you know?
Then, I am sorry, but he's away from his desk would be a good choice. Or you could say, regrettably, she's not at her desk at the moment. That adds a touch more formality.
So the unfortunately or regrettably definitely makes it sound more official, right?
Yeah, they're useful for business settings. Now, if you know the person's out of the office entirely, you can use he's out of the office at the moment.
Makes sense. So not at the desk usually means they might be in the office somewhere, but not at their specific workstation, right?
Yeah, that's right. Out of the office makes it clear that they're physically not in the building, though sometimes they're used interchangeably, as most people don't make a distinction.
That's a good point. And what if you just need to say they're not available in a more general way?
Then you can use he, she is currently unavailable. It's a catch-all phrase, and it doesn't specify where they are, but just that they can take a call right now.
So that works if you don't want to specify or you just don't know the details. Okay. Are there any other ways of saying someone is not around?
Sure, you can say he's not around. It's more casual, but it implies they are somewhere else and not immediately accessible.
Ah, that's a good one for a more informal setting. Now, what about when you're speaking to a client? Are those the only phrases that work?
For clients, you definitely want to stick with the more formal options, like, I'm sorry, but she's not at her desk right now. Or, he is currently unavailable. May I take a message? It's important to maintain that professional tone.
Right, that makes sense. You've got to keep it professional. What are some other phrases I should avoid?
Well, you'd avoid very casual slang. So instead of he's gone out for a bit, you can say he's temporarily away from his desk.
Okay, that makes sense. Avoid the colloquial and opt for clarity. Now, what if you know they're in a meeting or on a break?
Then you can be specific. He is in a meeting right now. Or, if they're on break, she is on her break at the moment.
Okay, so adding those details makes it clearer. And what about offering to help while the person is away?
Definitely. Always a good idea. You can say, would you like to leave a message? Or, shall I have him call you back later?
That shows you're proactive, not just making excuses, right?
Exactly. And it's good to be as specific as you can be. If you know they'll be back in an hour, you'll be back in about an hour. Would be helpful.
Right. The person calling wants to know when they can expect to connect. So let's say you're calling and you get the away from desk response. What are some things that can help you in that situation?
If they give you that response, definitely offer to leave a message. If you need to speak to them urgently, ask if they know when the person will be back.
That's the only super useful to manage expectations. And if it's an internal call, you can always use not around or unavailable, right?
Yeah, for your colleagues, not around is just fine. Or even, he's not available right now. They would know you're referring to.
So context is really key, isn't it? Formal versus informal, client versus colleague.
Absolutely. And knowing how to use those phrases and when can help you navigate those everyday business interactions, right?
Okay, so we've got the main phrases for when someone's not at their desk, out of the office, or just unavailable. That gives people a lot of options when dealing with phone calls and messages.
Exactly. And remember, it's not just about what you say, but also how you say it. Using a polite and professional tone goes a long way.
Alright, we've finished today's lesson. How did you find it? 理解できない部分はありませんでしたか? Repeat and try again tomorrow if needed. Please let me know your kansa or request in the comments. ぜひチャンネルの登録をお願いします. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. See you next time. Bye bye.